Hello YouTube friends, welcome to The Last Homely House. I've got a really interesting project that I want to share with you today with this fabric I've got in front of me. But before I do that, let me explain what's going on behind me here. A few weeks ago, Brandon Mabley, part of the K4Set collective, sent me this fabric. It's all old Free Spirit fabric, they're old designs that are out of print now, and he must have been having a sort out in his cupboards, and he sent me a bag full of all these bits and pieces. I've been thinking about what to do with them, and I'm coming up with an idea. So I've put some of them on the board behind me just to inspire me and get me interested in what I might make. But I know what I'm making here today. This is another fabric collection that was very kindly sent to me. Now let me tell you about Humphreys and Begg, which is what this fabric is here. And I've been following them on Instagram for ages, and they make beautiful clothing for children and adults. And I've bought a few little bits and pieces for my granddaughter Agnes in their beautiful prints. Many years ago, I went to India and watched the block printing fabric process. And what Humphreys and Begg have done is modernise that process. So they have all their fabric printed like that with block printing, but it's very modern designs. And a few months ago now, they put out a thing on Instagram saying that if anybody wanted to make anything with their fabric, they were to apply and they would consider them for sending some fabric, and they very kindly agreed to send me some fabric. Here it is. I selected 3 different types of fabric, and they have names. I will be leaving the link to this website in the description below. I chose this one, which is called Parasol, this one which is called Sun Hat, and this one is called Red Chili. Now, I had an idea about what I would do with all of them, and when they arrived, I started to research patterns that I might make Agnes a coat and me a coat. Agnes is my granddaughter. She's going to be 5 this year, and she's just gorgeous. You have grandkids, maybe. You know how gorgeous your grandchildren are. Maybe you make things for your grandchildren too. Well, I do. And I'm going to make Agnes this coat. So I looked online. I like to buy patterns that you can download, print out, and get the pattern pieces that way. I find that a good way to do it, especially as I'm sometimes quite impatient and I can have the pattern straight away. And the pattern arrives in pieces that you then stick together. Let me find the sticky together parts here. And you make the pattern piece that you want. One of the reasons I really like that is that I can print it again in the future and make a different size if I want to, because I've always got that download. So I found a little coat thing for Agnes, and I'm going to have a go at making that reversibly. And I found a jacket that I might like, and I'm going to try making that for me. I'm going to come clean straight away. I don't make clothes. I don't think I'm very good at it. I probably am better than I think. But when you're making clothes, you have to stick to the pattern and you have to follow instructions. Those are 2 things I struggle with, because sometimes maybe if you've watched me cook ever, sometimes I do some cooking and I get quite impatient with ingredient lists and recipes, and I just put a bit more in, or don't like that, leave it out. You can't do that when you're cooking, and you can't do it when you're sewing either. So I sometimes struggle with behaving myself when I'm making patterns. However, I'm going to have a try, and this fabric here, it's very bold, isn't it? And I struggled with the idea of thinking that I might wear this as a jacket. So a little while ago, I went to one of my favourite fabric shops. There's a little industrial estate not far from me, which has got beautiful fabric, and then across the way it's got upholstery weight fabric. And I wandered around until my eye was drawn by this one. And so this is the exact green of this Red Chili's fabric here. And my thinking will be that this will be the outside of my coat, and this will be the lining, and so you might see little flashes of this on the inside of the pocket or when you open the jacket up. That's my thinking with that one. And this is going to be quite a startling plain green jacket in this lovely wool. This is wool, quite heavyweight wool fabric. So that's that one there, and this one is going to be, like I say, a little reversible coat. So the first thing I have to do then is stick the pattern pieces together, and so as not to get too confused, I'm going to start with one of them and put the other one away, because otherwise I'll just get a little bit lost when I'm sticking these pattern pieces together and stick the wrong one to the wrong one. So I'm going to stick the pattern pieces together first of all for this jacket here, which is from a company called Paper Cut, and this jacket's called Nova. And I don't know, maybe it's going to be a bit of a challenge for me. I usually end up not liking things I make for myself, so I'm going to try really hard to like this one because the fabrics are beautiful. So this one is Nova, and the other one I'm making for Agnes is from a company that I can't pronounce the name of, but I'll have a go. Puperita, and it's called Baby Elephant Jacket. So I'm going to stick them together now. Not that one, this one. So I printed out the pattern pieces and I'm sticking them together as they suggest, and it's quite laborious, but never use your sewing scissors for cutting paper, but you know that, don't you? I've got my dedicated paper scissors here, and I'm just lining it up with the little graphic they give you and sticking these together. And then I'm also tipping it over and I'm putting tape on the back as well. And I've lost the end, there it is. So this is getting too big for the table, and this is a complete pattern piece here. So I'm just going to roughly cut this one out, and then I'll cut it to the actual size a bit later on. So once the pattern piece is completed, in all my sticking out here, I'm just going to cut it out and put it to one side. I haven't actually decided which size I'm doing yet. So this means that it'll all fit onto the table more easily. And what's that piece? That's a sleeve. There we are. Pop that over there. And what's this? This is the side back. I think I've chosen quite a complicated pattern for someone who's a self-professed newbie. Okay, and this one is the front neck fusing. Whatever is the front neck fusing? I guess we'll find out. Okay, it's all stuck together on the back like that. I cut each of the pieces out roughly so that I can see what size they are. I've got the pattern instructions here, and I've got to decide what size I am. Now these all look pretty confusing, but the first thing I like about it, which is why I liked this pattern, so this is a rough cutout of the sleeve, but if you fold it just very roughly, look at that. It's going to be a nice sleeve, isn't it? With a big wide bit here going to a narrow wrist there. I like the idea of that. This is in two sizes, this coat. It's either a coat or a jacket, and I'm definitely going to be making the jacket. This piece though is this is the upper front, and I haven't a clue what's going on with this piece. This one's going to be a real challenge. It looks like a map of a strange and curious island that I have never visited. That's what that one looks like. So that's going to take some reading of the instructions, and then there's some sleeve facings which I'm going to have to work out. And this one again, this one looks very long, but this is where the short version comes to here. So imagine, I'd quite like it to be short, a boxy kind of coat. I'm quite excited for this coat. I really am. It's going to be very striking looking with this green fabric. Let me show it you again. So this is the green fabric of the outside. It's going to look quite striking, isn't it? With this peeping through look. It's a little bit of that. It's going to be good. I just hope I can manage to do it. I really do. Anyway, I've cut all those pieces out. Bedtime reading is going to be the pattern. I'll just leave those to one side. My biggest challenge at the moment is not letting the cat sleep on these. That's that one then. And I'm kind of confusing myself, why wouldn't I, by doing them both at the same time. Agnes is as well. So taking these two fabrics here and this pattern, which is this small coat. This one seems quite a lot simpler. And so I have stuck all the pattern pieces for this one together, and I've actually cut all these out. So that's obviously a sleeve there. And I've cut nope, I've just cut one piece there. So I've got to cut the other piece because this is a reversible thing. So I've cut that. I've got, oh, there's the other sleeve. I have cut it. Hey, well done, Kate. Well done, past Kate. And so now I've got the front here, and that's the back, in fact, and this is the front, because the front's got a lovely little pleated bottom part to it. I think this one's going to be quite fun to do, and because the pattern pieces are much, much simpler than this jacket here, I'm going to start with this one, an inside and an outside, and I'm going to make it so that it's completely reversible, so that whatever mood they're in, they can turn it inside out or outside in, and that's the one I'm going to start with, just to get myself going. I've set myself quite a lot of challenges here. I am going to crack on and do these, this one first, and I'll be back with a video in the future soon showing you what both the finishes look like. Go and have a look at Humphreys and Begg. I think they have lovely imaginative fabric and clothing, ready-made clothing. It's really lovely. So check them out for sure. It was so kind of them to send me this. The two patterns, I will leave links in the description below. I think this Nova Coat, it's called, from Paper Cut. I think this is going to be quite an interesting shape, quite a nice shape to wear. So I've got a lot of work in front of me. I'm quite looking forward to getting on with it. I think if I complete this one and I'm happy with it, this little coat for Agnes, then it'll give me the confidence to go ahead and cut this one out and sew this one together. It's going to be quite fun. This green is very starkly, boldly green. And I did wonder about doing a little bit of top stitching by hand with some lovely Aurifil thread. I may do that. Just around the cuffs and around the pockets. I don't know. We'll not talk about finishing techniques until I've got a finish, eh? But that's what I'm going to do. And if you've watched this video to this point, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here. We make, Anna and I, my daughter-in-law works with me here, and we make a lot of extra video when we're doing a project like that, like this one, and that's all going to be over on Patreon. All the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on with making a video like this one. So check that out. That's in the description below as well. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time, and take care. And if you're a seamstress, give me some tips in the comments below. I could definitely do with them. Bye now. Okay, so let's not get these two patterns mixed up. That one is there. I might just definitely separate them out so that I don't get them into a muddle. And we'll do this one first. Very good. Right, okay.